All right, everybody. Very good evening to everyone present today. Today we are having this session on this particular Saturday, which is 16th of November at 6 p.m. So first of all, I would like to thank everybody for joining this webinar. We posted this webinar a couple of days back, but we have seen a good number of participants registering for this particular webinar. We are definitely thank everybody who expressed their interest and they joined the webinar also. I know we are just starting, so as we progress in the webinar, there would be people who would be joining us soon. So let's start the session. It's exactly 6 p.m. now. So this particular webinar, this particular session is on this particular topic. You see, unlock communication strategies to support learners' growth, build trust, and encourage engagement. The first thing first, let me start with my introduction. I am Amjad Razal. I work at Keystone Center for Innovation and Teacher Education as the head of research and programs. And this particular organization is in Hyderabad. Now, I would request everyone to please use the chat and tell me your name, where you are joining from, and the name of the organization you work for. Your name, the name of the organization, and also the location. Okay, first person, as you can see, Mrs. Amara Shri from Kennedy High, the Global School, Hyderabad. I request all the other members to please use the chat to introduce yourself. Okay. Please mention your name, the name of the organization, and where you're joining us from. So we have another person introducing herself, Mrs. Akanksha Mishra from Bal Bharati Public School, Bhopal. Welcome to the session, ma'am. I'm waiting for the other members to introduce themselves. We have Nivedita from Nava International School, Muttur. Okay, welcome to the session. We have another person from Zimbabwe. Excellent. So, Mr. Nukuleko Sibanda from Zimbabwe Open University. Welcome to the session. We have Asha from the Charter School, Cochin, Kerala. Welcome to the session. We have Rutuja Udavan from Podar International School, Deolali. Welcome to the session. So I guess there are 6-7 members who have introduced themselves. I need everyone to please participate, introduce yourself, please mention where you are joining from, because that will also allow me to know where the participants have joined this session from. We have Ritu Khan from Bal Bharati Public School, Bhopal. Welcome to the session. We have Miss Kiran from Indo-British Global School, Pune. Welcome to the session, ma'am. I guess there are 8-9 members who introduced. We have the other participants also. Please take another 1 minute to please introduce yourself. So mention your name, the name of the organization you work for, and where you're joining us from. So we have Abhinaya from Maharishi Vidya Mandir, Tamil Nadu. Thank you and welcome to the session. We have Ramya Gopinath from AIS, English Medium School, Araku. Thank you and welcome to the session. I guess mostly everybody has done, they have done their introduction. So if somebody is left, you can still mention, we'll progress, go to the next slides. And meanwhile, I will just take some time to come back to the chat, read your message, and then reply to you. Thank you everybody for introducing yourself. The reason, we keep asking to introduce, because it will help each and everyone understand where the other members are joining from. And also you would know where the host, the person who is conducting this webinar, who is he, where is he, where does he work, and where is he joining? Where is he, from where he is conducting the session. All right, let's move to the next part of the session. Like always, we have these particular webinar setting. So what you're going to do is, for smooth transition and the smooth flow of this webinar, there are a few settings. So what you're going to do is, please keep your microphone on mute while the presenter is speaking. This is a golden rule. Let's say maybe whenever you conduct the webinar or online session, you would also want your learners to just keep their microphone on mute, So whenever you ask some questions, that is when you want them to like talk. Okay. Use the chat to quickly ask for clarification. The chat is open for everybody. Anytime if you have any question, clarification to make, you can immediately like use the chat to mention the question. I will definitely read the question and then clarify your doubts. Then use the hand raise emoji to ask anything. If you still want to ask anything, the hand raise emoji is still open. I don't have to tell you where you can locate those emojis. So use that emoji to raise your hand so that I can know who is asking some question, who wants to ask some question, and then respond to you. And keep your video on if your internet bandwidth is good. And if the internet bandwidth is not good, so please turn off your video. When you're asked to answer any question, turn on your microphone and speak. So in this webinar, you would also have the opportunity to ask anything. So you can turn on the microphone, ask your question, and we can have an interaction. Not just one single person. I would definitely encourage all the members to like turn on the microphone when there is an opportunity and ask me questions and interact with me. Okay. I actually do not want the members to be just passive joiners. So there'll be definitely so many things coming up. So I want you to actively participate and then, respond to me, reply to me, and then I'll also talk to you. And then lastly, like time will definitely be given to you for clarification. You can utilize that particular opportunity and yes, ask me anything. So this is just a brief of what this setting is going to be. Now, the most important thing is like educators, like teachers, we always have learning objectives when we teach our learners, right? So similarly, here also in this particular webinar, we have this um, learning objective. So we all know what we are going to understand, what you are going to learn from this particular webinar, and understand things, what you can implement in your class and what you can improve in the existing classrooms that you have. Okay, the first thing is you would definitely going to identify effective communication strategies that will help you build a supportive learning environment in the classroom. Like we have 30-40 students in our classroom and you want to make a supportive learning environment. So how communication will help you to make that supportive learning environment? So you are going to understand, identify those key effective communication strategies. The second thing is you are going to equip yourself with techniques to build the trust, okay, with your students, build that rapport with your students and positive relationship with all your learners. Okay. And the third important and key objective of this particular webinar is you are going to apply communication strategies in your classes. Okay. That will definitely help you to enhance the student engagement and also support their academic, social, and emotional growth. Okay. So remember this particular setting and also the webinar objective, where these are the things you are going to understand, and I'm going to show you those strategies, those techniques, so that tomorrow when you go back, let's say on Monday when you go back to your classroom, you can implement few of those things, not just for once, maybe for a couple of days or maybe over a period of time. So and then you see how the students are actually responding to that and how you are succeeding in building that rapport with the learners. All right, this is just about the objective. Let's move to the next part of the webinar. Now, I love this question and I ask this question every single time whenever we conduct the webinar. So, okay, Mr. Lokender Singh from Nirmal Ashram Gyan Dan Academy, joining from Rishikesh. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining this session. Now, I need everyone to use the chat to please tell me, how are you feeling today? Excited, bored, tired, and sad. Excited. I got 3 responses. They're feeling excited, tired. How many? We have 15 members, and I need everyone to please let everyone know how are you feeling today. This is Saturday. If you had your, let's say, working day today, and you have been like working, and now you are here for the session. So are you excited for the webinar? And just because of the day, how it went, you are like literally like tired, you're bored, and you're sad. Okay, all right. I'm seeing here 90% of the people have mentioned that they're excited. Wow. This gives me excitement too. I'm gonna spend next 50 minutes with a lot of excitement. And yeah, this is giving me an amazing kickstart right now. So I'm also feeling excited for whatever learning we are going to unlock in the coming few minutes. Thank you everybody for saying this. And please remember, this is particularly very important for all of us as educators to do in the classrooms also. Whenever we go back to the class, okay, the first important thing as soon as we enter the classroom, it takes only a minute to ask, my dear students, how are you feeling today? How are you today? Many of them will say, we are happy. Some of them might say we are tired. Some of them might say we are sad. Okay. So that is when you bring in social emotional learning strategies and all that. So particularly for social emotional learning, we have conducted 3 webinars before. So if you join our community, our WhatsApp community, and become member of it, so you would have access to those particular recordings as well, where you can also learn how social emotional learning is going to help everybody. Now, this reminds me to ask a very important question now. Okay, out of all the webinars that we have conducted, and we have so many members today, like 16 members now, I just want to ask how many of you have joined or joining for the second time, for the third time, for the first time. Please let me know in the chat. People who are joining for the second time, for the third time, or this is the fourth time. Okay, please let me know in the chat. Excellent. People, thank you for saying first time. Yes, Miss Asha also said first time. Amarashri, third time, second time, third time, second time, first time. So thank you so much, people, for joining for the second time and the third time. I'm sure whatever we communicated in the previous sessions. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm seeing the messages now. Again, you said you're joining for the second time. Thank you so much for saying. And it also gives me this excitement that somewhere, we are doing good, so that again and again, people want to join our webinars. They're learning some strategies, they're learning something amazing. And maybe these strategies and techniques, whatever we speak during the webinar, are helping them in one way or the other. Okay. So people who are joining for the first time, I would definitely want, and I'll definitely do my best to offer you good strategies which you can easily go to your classroom and implement. Okay. Simple, effective, and easy to conduct in the classes. People who are joining for the first time, I have another request. I would definitely ask you again and again to use the chat to type in the messages, and that is how I want to interact with you. Okay. So like in the beginning, I said you would have an opportunity to open the microphone and talk. So we will provide you that opportunity also. And people who are joining for the second and third time, or maybe there would be someone who is joining for the fourth time. So thank you so much for having the trust in us and believing these webinars are helping us. That's it. And the people who are joining just now, right now, you can use the chat to let us know your name, your organization you work for, and where you're joining us from. And at the same time, if you directly want to answer this question, like how are you feeling today, just let us know. How are you feeling? Are you excited? Are you tired? How are you feeling? Okay, the next thing is, if your mood was a weather report, I'm sure we all know what a weather report is, right? If your mood was a weather report, what would it be? Sunny, rainy, stormy, and cloudy. Please use the chat to let me know. Let all of us know. Sunny, cloudy, rainy. Only one more option is left. Come on, people. 19 members we have. If your mood was a weather report, what would it be? Sunny, rainy, stormy, and cloudy. Okay, rainy, sunny, cloudy. I got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 responses. We have 19 members. Okay, 10, cloudy. We need 8 more responses. Similarly, we engage our learners and we encourage our learners to do something like this also in the class, right? When you want a response, so you ask them again and again, okay, please let us know what. Okay, one more person has said sunny. Okay, all right. We are 20 members now. Please mention in the chat, if your mood was a weather report, what would it be? Sunny, rainy, stormy, or cloudy? All right, let's move on to the next one. What's that one thing you're grateful for today or for this week? What is that one thing that you're grateful for today? Something has happened today, an amazing thing that has happened today, and you're grateful for it. Okay. Or you're grateful for the whole week. Something amazing has happened in this week. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for saying. People are now texting me about the weather report. Cloudy, cloudy. Thank you so much for the texting. I'm asking this third question. What is that one thing you're grateful for? Somebody said for the time, excellent. Somebody said I'm with my family, health. What is that one thing we're grateful for? So the reason we ask this question is to at least recall that something great has happened, something nice has happened to me, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful to God, I'm grateful to the people, I'm grateful for to my manager, to my organization, or to myself. Because you are investing this time also now, this 1 hour here for learning something new, something different, or just to identify a different perspective. So you're grateful for yourself. Okay, time with friends. Somebody said social work, excellent. Students and family, yes. I got 7-8 responses. If there is someone who would like to answer this, please use the chat. The chat is open for everybody. So please use the chat and let us know what is that one thing you're grateful for today or for this week. Okay. With this now, I have some certain questions, something that I really want you to like reflect back and like think of our own classroom experiences. Okay, so from here on, you would definitely be using the chat, or if you want to open the microphone and talk, you can just raise your hand raise emoji. I would allow you to turn on your microphone and then communicate with me and interact with like me or anyone else also. So the very first thing is here. Situation number one. I'm giving you first situation. You explained a new concept to the class. You're a maths teacher, you're a science teacher, okay? You explained a new concept to the class, but in the middle of the activity, you saw several students were still confused and unable to proceed. Okay. So for this, I have a poll for you. If you're able to see the poll on the screen, you can also tell me in the chat. And there are 3 options given. The first option, I stop the activity and re-explain the concept with simpler language and examples. Thank you people for using the poll right now. Thank you so much. Somebody has already answered. And the second option, I told the students who understood to explain it to their peers in the group. You introduce some concept, you saw that some of them are not understanding or they're confused. So what you have done is you explained it in a simple language. The second thing you did was you asked the friend to explain it to that particular student. Okay. And the third thing is I moved on because I had the lesson to finish. I'm seeing majority of the people. Thank you so much for using the poll and letting me know. The majority, 91%, I can see that people have mentioned they stop the activity and re-explain the concept with simpler language and examples. Great. And some people have, they chose the second option. I told the students who understood to explain to their friend. If somebody is still left to use this particular poll, so please, the poll is on the screen. Out of 20 people, only 12 people have used the poll. Thank you so much. One more person has answered. I need at least 15 responses, 15 people to participate in this poll. 14. Thank you so much. One more person, then we'll move to the next question. So this is something that happens often in the classes, right? So whenever we teach something, we explain some certain concepts and we see that there are some students who are not understanding or they're confused. So what do we do? How do we deal with them? So what we do is either we explain it again and again and again, okay, using simple language, using some examples, and then we move to the next section, okay. The second thing what we do is some teachers might prefer, okay, who understood among the students, we ask them to like explain the same thing to their friends. This is what sometimes happens. Okay, all right, 15 members. Thank you so much. I needed 15 responses. So 87% is gone. Like they do the first thing that we explain it again to the students. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's it. That's the end of the poll. This is what you have seen. Like maybe you're able to see out of all the responses, I gave you three options and nobody has actually chosen the third one, which is I moved on because I had to finish the lesson. As teachers, as effective teachers, we never want to just move on to the next part of this lesson when we see that there are some students who are confused. We ensure that we communicate, we talk, we use simple language so that they understand using the examples or any other way. And then once we feel confident, we move to the next part of the session. Lesson. All right. Now I have a second situation. When you see some students, did not complete the task as per your expectations, how did you give feedback? Okay, please understand this question and this situation. This happens to all of us, right, in our classes. Some students, they did not complete the task as we expected them to. Okay, so how did we give feedback? Okay, now the poll is on your screen. Please use the poll and you have four options. Firstly, I highlighted what they did well, then suggested specific areas of improvement. Okay, how did you give feedback? So firstly, you highlighted what they did well and suggested specific areas of improvement. The second thing, I gave examples of similar work done well by others to guide them. Okay, how others have done, you gave the example. Okay, the third option is I focus on their effort and encourage them to keep trying. Okay, and the fourth option is I want them not to repeat it and finish everything on time. Let's see. For this poll also, I need 15 responses. Yes, 9 done. Excellent. You can be honest also, okay, because we are not sharing the responses with everybody, and no name is also shown so that all your responses are very confidential. Let's say some teachers, if they say I just want them not to repeat it and finish everything on time. There are some situations where teachers do that also. Okay, 13, 14 responses. I need one more, then we'll move to the next poll, next question. Okay, the majority of the responses are the people who selected the first one. Firstly, I highlighted what they did well, then suggested specific areas of improvement. I need one more person to please use the chat. No, sorry, not use the poll to let us know. The question is, the situation is, some students did not complete the task as per your expectations. How did you give feedback? Firstly, I highlighted what they did well, then suggested specific areas for improvement. I gave examples of similar work done well by others to guide them. I focused on their effort and encouraged them to keep trying. So I guess let's move on. So I'm ending this poll right now and I'll share this. Now you can see this result of the poll. You see many people said they have done the first thing. Like firstly, they highlighted what they did well and then they suggested the areas of improvement. Basically, whenever we give feedback, this is the way we give feedback. This is the step. Okay, first we talk about what they did well. Okay, and then we talk about where they have to improve. Okay, that's the way we have learned and we practice. Now, the third situation, how did you deal with disruptive behavior in the classroom without naming out a student? In the classroom, there are students who are making noise, they are not allowing you to teach. So how did you manage that kind of a situation? Okay, everything, all the situations you see on the screen are actually based on the classroom scenarios. These situations, these things happen in the class. So for this also, I have another poll for you. I'll launch that question. Okay, you must be seeing it right now on your screen. How did you deal with the disruptive behavior in the classroom without naming out a student? You're not mentioning the name of the student. Okay, so there are three options. First one, I calmly reminded them the classroom rules and expectations for respectful behavior. Okay. Second, I indirectly asked the student to adjust their behavior. Okay. Without mentioning the name of the student, you indirectly ask the student to not do what the child is doing. The third, I spoke to the student privately after the class to discuss the behavior. You called the student outside of the classroom when you are done with the lesson. And then you said, my dear, I have observed you that you were talking too much. And this was not allowing me to like teach properly. So, okay. 11 people have answered, 5, 6 people more. Then we'll move to the next situation. Okay. Again, majority of the people, they selected the first option. I calmly reminded them the classroom rules and expectations for respectful behavior. Okay. All right, everybody. I need everyone to participate. There are how many? 23 members. This is a classroom situation. Okay. When you are teaching, some students are actually, they started talking, disturbing, making noise. So, which was not allowing you to teach. So, how did you deal with them? So, yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody, for using the poll. Now I'm ending it. So you can see the result right now, the poll. So how did you deal with this disruptive behavior? So 79%, people said, I calmly reminded the classroom rules and expectations for respectful behavior. Okay. And somebody also said, I spoke to the student privately after the class to discuss the behavior. This is also, normally teachers do. Now the last situation, here we have, how did you engage shying students to engage in the classroom discussion? Before I launch the poll, let me know, have you seen, there are students who feel shy, okay, to talk, to communicate, to participate in the activities. If there are students in your class also, please let me know yes. Like, use the chat to please type in yes. Yeah, I'm seeing the responses. Thank you so much for saying. There are students, right? There are 30, 40 students in the classes. So some students definitely be shy. So our goal is to engage them in activities so that they learn in a social circle and understand what the activity is meant for. Yeah, thank you so much for letting me know in the chat. Now I'm going to launch the poll. So the fourth poll is, how did you encourage shying students? Okay, I'm launching it right now. Now you will see on your screen. How did you engage shying students to engage in the class discussions? Okay, the first option, I made a small group activity to allow them to speak up with a few friends. Okay. Second option, I asked questions directly to them. You see some student who is not talking, you asked them direct question. Okay. I have a question for you. Reply. Okay. The third one, I focused only on the students who interacted with me. Students who were talking to me, who were interacting with me, whoever was feeling shy, I was not focusing them at all. All right, I'm seeing people responding to the poll questions. 11 done, 13 done. Yeah, I really like the honesty. Somebody also mentioned, I focus only on the students who were interacted with me. Okay, I was not talking to the students. I did not engage the other students who were not, who were not participating. Okay, all right, 14 members done. One more person, if somebody still wants to use these particular options, you can use the poll. Okay, I'm ending this right now. I'll share the result. Here is the result you can see on the screen. How did you encourage shying students to engage in the class discussion? So majority of the people, 79% people said they made a small group activity where they were like few friends, and you engage them also in that particular group so that they can talk to their friends and have that discussion and learn something. And some people said, I asked them questions directly. This is another thing what teachers do in the class. And somebody, I really appreciate the honesty. So I focused only on the students who interacted with me. I did not focus on the shying students. I only focused the students who were interacting with me. All right. Thank you so much for using the poll and like letting me know like what normally we do. So now after this particular poll, here there are few things we all have to understand and learn. Okay. So this particular webinar is on understanding those communication strategies that will help you build that trust, that encourage engagement of the learners in the class. So basic question is, whenever we communicate with the learners, what is going on inside their mind? And if you can recall, when we were when we were the students, during the interaction that we had with our teacher in the class, when the teacher was talking to us, at the same time a few things were going on inside our mind. Okay, just the learners, how they sit and observe. Similarly, our learners, our students also sit in the classroom and observe. So when the communication is happening in the classroom, the teacher is giving instructions, she's talking, what is happening? So what do the learners see when there is an interaction going on, when the teacher is communicating continuously again and again? What do the learners see? What do the learners hear? What do the learners listen? And what do the learners observe? So if you can understand these four aspects, so for everything, you will have specific strategies, and you will be mindful of those particular situations in the classroom, and you would only want the effective strategies to implement and build that rapport with your learners in the class. Okay. So now moving on to the first important thing, what do the learners see? Okay. We all have to understand this, because sometimes, we are not mindful of our conversation, our communication in the class. We are too busy and we want this particular lesson to be finished. Okay. Because we have a goal, we have a deadline, and end of the year, you have to have all the lessons finished and covered. Okay. But normally what happens when we are communicating, a lot of academic communication and instruction is going on. At the same time, students are listening, understanding the concepts from you, but simultaneously there are other things going on. Okay. So the first important thing is, what do the learners see? The facial expressions. Okay. Your expression of emotions, enthusiasm, energy. Let's say you walk into the classroom, okay, in the morning, and you have such an angry face, like your frowning face. Okay. Now tell me, how would the learners react to that? Okay. Some learners, some students who are sensitive, just by looking at your face, they would by default become calm and quiet. You don't even have to look at them. You don't even have to tell them the classroom behaviors and manners, right? Because the moment we entered, or when we are explaining some concepts and we want them to focus, okay, how is our facial expression? Can someone tell me in the chat, does the facial expression matter? How you show your enthusiasm, your anger, your aggression. Sometimes if you're upset, would the learners be noticing that or not? Okay. Yes, somebody said yes. Now the body language, your gestures, body language, and the movements you make in the class. Thank you, people who are texting in the chat. Yes, yes, I totally agree with your points. Your body language, your gestures, the body language, the movements you make in the class. Normally, sometimes what happens, teachers, they stand at one particular place, they do not move at all. Okay, they stand next to the whiteboard or the blackboard or the green board. They just write everything there, explain the concepts. There is a textbook or a workbook in the hand. The teacher explains everything. As soon as the bell rings, the teacher leaves the room. Okay. The movements do you make in the class, the body language you have, the gestures you make, each and everything is seen by the learners and they remember everything. Now, the third thing is the eye contact, whether you make an eye contact with each learner or not. Okay. It is also very important when you are interacting with the learners to make an eye contact. Normally, what happens sometimes, if you by chance do not look at few students, maybe once or twice, they start thinking, what happened? maybe my teacher dislikes me. She doesn't like me at all. She is not looking at me. She is ignoring me. Maybe I'm not meeting the expectations. I'm not doing well. I have to do something, right? There is particular situation where we all definitely experience this. Some learners, okay, they observe this. Why is my teacher not looking at me? And they go back and tell their parents, and the parents will call the management, and the management will come call you and ask you. I'll share my personal experience here because it happened with me in the very beginning of my career. So I was teaching grade 2, class 2, and it was not my intention that to avoid looking at few students, okay, not making eye contact. So there was one little girl in class 2. So she went her to her house and then told her parents, and the parents called the management, and the principal called me the next day. Amjad, what happened to you? Why are you ignoring this particular girl? I was surprised. I said, ma'am, why would I not look at the students? I'm there in the classroom and I have to teach them everybody, right? And then ma'am said, yeah, we all know that. But the girl is sensitive and she just she believes that you don't like her and you're ignoring her. And I was literally like puzzled. So the next few days, okay, when I went to the class, I asked her questions particularly and was looking at her just to make her feel fine and I mean good in the class, because she told the parents, I do not want to go to school because Amjad sir is ignoring me. Okay. And that was a tricky situation for me also, right? So the next few days when I started focusing on that particular student, making an eye contact, that's it. So after 2 weeks, the parents came to the school and they said, now our daughter wants to go to school only because of Amjad sir. So this happens in every class, in every situation. Okay. We as teachers, sometimes we do not look at some students, they feel bad. Okay. So making eye contact is also important because they observe it, they see it. The last, the appearance, your professional dress up or attire, the way we dress up ourselves, okay, and go to the class, they see that also. Okay. So this is all about what they see. Now let us understand what they hear. Because when we are communicating, the words, the language that we use, everything is like heard by them. Similarly, when they talk to us, we also hear what they are trying to say. Okay, the first thing, the tone of voice, whether you are calm or excited or firm, they interpret many messages. Okay, the tone, the way we use the tone, okay, either we are excited or we are calm or we are firm, trying to remind them the rules of the classroom. Okay, they are interpreting those messages. The tone of the voice is very important. The second one is the voice modulation in the classroom, your pitch to emphasize on crucial messages. Okay, if you see some disruptive behavior and you tell the students, you remind them to follow the rules and regulations or the expectations with a very low pitch voice. Okay, the students may not pay attention to you. Okay, they may not hear you. So maintaining that voice modulation is also important. The third important thing is the choice of the words in the class. What words are we using in the class? The words and the language you use to express anything. So sometimes, we say things and they interpret something else because of the words. Okay. And last time in the webinar, also somebody like mentioned, okay, even today, people stop saying them or calling them as slow learners because the word has a negative meaning also. Okay. Then somebody said, instead of slow learner, can we call them like another term which is not really good? See, what choice of word are we picking to describe particular student? So we have to be mindful of the words that we use, right? Because that's what they try to think, interpret, and try to make that as an identity for themselves. So we have to be very careful. After this, what do they listen? Okay, the messages, the silent things, the hidden messages in whatever we talk, the instructions we give to them. So the step-by-step explanation of new concepts. Whenever you explain something, always we have to make sure that there is a step-by-step process and some examples. Okay, so that they learn, understand with those step-by-step explanation. Okay, they listen that very carefully and they remember it. The next thing is the feedback. Your feedback that sharp that shapes or breaks their confidence. Okay, the way you communicate feedback, that also important. Encouragement, you're encouraging words that guide their work. How do you encourage? The words you use, they pay attention to that. Remember, or maybe recall an experience with your teacher at your school. You did something and the teacher appreciated your work. Okay, now you feel that maybe that work did not require that kind of an appreciation. It was just a silly work. But because your teacher appreciated you using good words, you still remember the teacher and you still thank her for that kind of an appreciation. If this is a genuine thing that can happen or that had happened to anyone, please let me know let me know in the chat with yes or any other thing that, or maybe if you want to share your experience also, you can. What you did, okay, and your teacher appreciated you for that. Okay, I know there are teachers who are joining, okay, from different places. They have like 10 years of experience, maybe 15 years of experience, or maybe 3 years of experience. So please just text in the chat, what was that thing you did? Okay, your teacher appreciated you and you still remember and thank her for that kind of an appreciation. If you want to type, you can type and message in the chat. I will read it while I'm explaining the other things. So that can happen with them. Even I remember my teachers. I know when I recall that experience, it was not very big thing, but since the teacher liked it and she appreciated, okay, I still remember that experience. It's still fresh in my mind, and when I'm talking, I'm actually imagining it. It's like a photographic situation that's coming inside my brain right now. So that can happen to anyone. Yeah. Please share one experience. Anyone can type in message. What was that thing you did and your teacher appreciated and you still remember that teacher with that experience. Now, the fourth important thing is using the real life examples, the examples that make concepts relatable to them. So often we say we have to give a lot of like real life examples so that they listen, understand. So giving the real life examples, it makes things very easy for them to get everything, comprehend, and then learn something like other members, please. There was a setting in the beginning. I will allow you to like open your microphone and communicate. So meanwhile, please turn off your microphones. Okay, somebody said, once I highlighted my paper with colors, even though I scored less, my teacher highlighted that act. Okay. Was that a great experience for you? That's true. You still remember. Somebody said, when I was a kid, I was not interested to go to school, but my teacher, Rani, you remember the name also, great. Teacher encouraged me to come, came to my house to take me to the school, and I'm grateful to her. So you waited for the teacher to come to your house, huh? So, wow, that itself is a very an amazing experience. You remember that teacher, she was so much worried about me. She came to my house and she took me to the school, and that is why you are grateful for. And fortunately and luckily, you are also a teacher now. Maybe that teacher has inspired you and you have become teacher yourself. Amazing. All right, after this, the next thing is, what do they observe? Okay, students in the class, when they are sitting, they are observing a lot of things. Okay, they might not say, they might not talk to you, but they are sitting and observing. Similarly, when we were students, we also sat in the class and observed, right? So these are also the students. Okay, they do a lot of observation. Words and actions, your actions, whether they align with what you say. Something sometimes you say, but the next time, they see you and you are actually not doing it. Okay, you always say follow the line, eat like this, like that, but sometimes you yourself are not doing it. So there are students who observe all this, whether your actions are aligned with your words or not. The second thing is the interaction, your interaction with other students, modeling behaviors. So when you want them to learn something and practice, so you have to like show the role modeling thing in the class, the way you interact with other students. Let's say I have a friend, So I see how the teacher is interacting with me and how the same teacher is interacting with my friend. I see that change of behavior of a teacher also. Let's say I'm not a good performing student, and my friend is a very good performing student. Okay. How the teacher is talking to me and how the teacher is talking to my friend. I'm observing this different behavior in the of the teacher's behavior. Okay. Is she talking to me the same way she is talking to my friend? It's being observed by all the students. So we just need to be careful. Yeah. Handling challenges, how we handle the challenges. Your calm composure while handling classroom challenges also. They see that. If you yourself show anger, aggression, and you say, hey, don't do that, hey, don't do this, they're seeing how you're handling the challenges. And like, the non-verbal communication also, your gestures like nodding, smiling, or raising a hand or making movements in the class, everything is being observed. And the lastly, which is also important, the fairness, whether you treat all the students like one fair and square, okay, or you're differentiating between students based on the students' performance. So that is also being observed. After this, I have some situations again for you. So please uh, tell me whether this is true or false. Providing clear, simple, and specific instructions at the beginning of a lesson helps students focus and understand concepts better. Is this true or false? True, yes. Please let me know in the chat. Is it true or false? Providing clear, simple, and specific instructions at the beginning of a lesson helps students focus and understand concepts better. Yeah, many of the members said true, true, true. Yes, yes, true, true, true. I need the response from everybody. Thank you. I think 12, 15 people said yes, true. Okay, all right. This is true. Congratulations. Now, the next one. When students ask questions during a lesson, it is better to delay the answer to maintain the flow of the lesson. Some students have asked some question and you want them to like wait for a while so that you don't want them to disturb the flow of the lesson. Is it true? False, false. No. Somebody said true. Yes, false, true, false. Yeah, majority of the people said false. Some people said yes and true. Okay, it is false. Okay, you can stop, answer, clarify the doubts, and then move to the next part of the. Okay. Now the third question, the third situation. Okay, when a student answers incorrectly, it is best to move on to another student to avoid embarrassing them in front of their peers. Let's say you have asked me and my friend, you have asked me a question and I said something. Okay. So it is best to move on to another student, ask that student because you don't want to embarrass me like in front of everybody. True, false, true. No, correct him separately. Yes. True, 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 true. Many people are saying true. Some people said false. Okay, all right. This is also false. Okay. Because when you ask me a question and I have not given the correct answer, you can still correct me, right? You can give me the perspective, that idea why, this is my answer is not right and how it can be right. Okay. Then, yeah, somebody said correct him separately. You can do it separately. You can do here also. And in the class, when you have that kind of an environment, you are asking me questions. So students, they themselves do not have to feel, okay, what if I say and the answer is wrong? So you have to make sure that this type of feeling is not there in the class. Okay. Then you can like, okay, now the fourth one, non-verbal cues such as maintaining eye contact and using gestures are as important as verbal explanations while communicating with the students. In short, both verbal and non-verbal, non-verbal cues, the communication is as important as verbal communication. So people started saying, yes, yes, true, true. I need responses from everybody. There are 25 members. True. Non-verbal cues such as maintaining eye contact, using gestures are as important as verbal explanation. Okay. All right. Thank you everybody for replying on that particular to that question. Now the answer is true. All right. Congratulations, everybody. Now let's move on to the next part. Here I'm going to show you the communication strategies like we promised. What I'm going to do is I'll open this separately and I'll show you. Please remember, if you want to note down these particular strategies, you can note down. And okay. So what are those communication strategies in the class you can use, and how you can like make the learning better, build that rapport with your students, and the trust, and also encourage them in learning something. So the first important thing is always use the positive language instead of saying don't run, don't do this, don't do that. Okay, giving direct instructions, direct commands. You can say let's walk together. Okay, isn't that amazing when my teacher says let's walk together? Okay, okay, I'll join my teacher and walk. So using don't run, don't do this, don't do that, don't draw, don't do this over a period of time, when you do, it creates a negative environment in the class where they're threatened, they're commanded, they are monitored strictly by the teacher. Okay, now the next one is ask open-ended questions instead of asking yes or no questions. Okay, ask them open-ended questions. Okay, what do you think will happen next based on whatever context you have in your lesson? So asking this type of question, it will allow them to think, not just thinking yes or no, because there are only two options, yes or no. There is no maybe when we ask question, right? So when you ask them certain questions like this, what do you think will happen next? Or similarly, they would think and respond. That is how you interact. Okay, and you correct their sentences, you correct their mistakes, and also give feedback. Next one, give clear, specific instructions like get ready for class. You are there in the classroom and you're saying get ready for the class. Okay, instead of giving generic instructions, you can use please take out your maths notebook, like you see your worksheets and pencils. Please be as specific. What do you want them to take out? Okay, the pencils, eraser, sharpener, whatever the learning material is. Okay, please, you have to communicate that. Then show empathy and understanding in the class. So instead of saying you have to finish it on your own, okay, instead of avoiding students' worries, what you can do is acknowledge their feelings and emotions. I can see that this is challenging for you. Let's work through it together. How amazing it would be when my teacher says this, instead of saying, hey, you do like this only. My teacher says, I know this is challenging for you. I'll help you. Let's work this out together. This will build that trust, build that rapport, that relationship between you and the students. Next one, be mindful of the body language. Okay. This is just one gesture that you see teacher sitting on the table with the legs crossed or something like that. So instead of showing attitude in the class, show positive body language. Okay. The way you walk, the way you interact, the way you move here and there. So everything is observed. So we have to be mindful of that. So now the next thing is acknowledge students' feelings. Students in the classroom, they're coming from various backgrounds, various situations of life, okay, whatever is happening at their house. So when they're in the classroom, you have to acknowledge their feelings, okay, instead of saying accept your fault, okay, instead of saying something like that, very threatening, okay. You can say, you can start acknowledging to understand them. Okay, when you acknowledge, that is when you start believing in them and they also start trusting you. I understand what you're going through. That students will immediately, start trusting you, and you will see the amazing rapport. Call students by their names instead of saying, "Hey, you, pay attention. Hey, boy. Hey, girl. Hey, you all." Okay. Instead of using generic names, so use their names to personalize their interaction. Imagine a student in a classroom where there are 20 students and teacher is calling the students by their names. Okay. Hello, Amjad. So this way, when you whatever instruction you give, the command you give, or what you want them to do something, so this becomes a very personalized interaction. Like Rachel, can I have your attention, please? Next thing is make an eye contact. Look at them instead of looking away here and there, or not looking at a few students in the class. Okay, make an eye contact with them while you're talking and interacting. So that really builds that rapport, the trust, and anything that we want to achieve in the class. Model active listening. Okay, you want them to listen actively. At the same time, as teachers, we also have to model that listening, active listening. Okay, wait, you can tell this later. You're stopping the student from saying. Okay, if this is a situation in our classrooms, sometimes if we do not allow our learners to interact or tell their situations or maybe ideas or perspectives, this is not going to help us build that rapport and confidence, the trust, that relationship. So instead, allow them to talk and appreciate the views. Just allow them to talk and appreciate the views. That's a good idea you just shared. So when my teacher says something like that, I feel confident, I feel encouraged, and I would definitely try to say something again when my teacher asks another question. Okay, make positive comparisons. We always have been saying there should not be any comparison in the class. We should not compare with one student and another. But if you want to have that kind of a comparison in the class, so you have to think very positively and bring that positive perspective, positive point. Okay. Instead of saying, why can't you write as neatly as Sam? His handwriting is always perfect. What happens when I hear something like this? I feel belittled. I feel discouraged. Okay. I feel my friend Sam is better than me. I'm nothing. I'm good for nothing. Instead, you can say, I have noticed that Sam uses small, steady strokes to make his handwriting neat. Would you like to try that? I'm sure you can improve with a little practice. So, when you're making the positive comparison, you're saying the specific areas. Okay, and say, why don't you try that? I'm sure you would also be nice. This will also help students feel encouraged and they would know where to improve and what to improve. Okay. Acknowledge the efforts and not just the results. So always say, even if it is a small win-win situation, small effort, small thing. So say, great job. You did it well this time. So this type of encouragement, if you do in the class, that will definitely help, in building that rapport. Give constructive feedback. This is completely wrong. You didn't follow the instructions at all. Instead of saying that, why, not just we say, I see you worked hard on this, just a little bit more, then it's done. So all the students feel appreciated. Okay. And they would want to like improve and make some good progress. All right. That's it. These are few classroom communication strategies. And I hope these particular things, whatever we mentioned just now, right now, so these things are going to help you understand what kind of an interaction we should have with our learners, and whenever we are interacting, what the learners are looking, what they're hearing, what they're observing. When we are mindful of these things, those aspects, and the choice of words that we use in the classroom when there is a situation, how we give constructive feedback, the choice of words there also, how we are communicating the feedback, everything matters. And whatever strategies that you have seen, all the classroom things, these things will definitely help you build that rapport and have a long-term relationship, that connection with your students. They feel appreciated in your class and they would start loving you, following your instructions and listening to everything you say. And because you are keeping the social emotional aspects in your interaction, your communication, students will also do good in their academics too. So now it's the time for members. If you have any question to ask or anything, you can maybe raise your hand, or maybe let me know in the chat. I'll read your questions and we'll move to the next part of the session. If you want to say anything also, you can turn on your microphone and you can interact with me. I have not finished the session.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, please. Who is this?
Sheila.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Sheila, ma'am. Please tell me. Please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the tutorial. In fact, on the principles, the strategies you talked about on interaction, you are very right. When you talk of interaction and you have some negative comments on other students, they will feel belittled. I liked the way you expressed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Anyone else would
Mm.
like to ask me anything or? Okay, what we're gonna do is maybe you can type your message in the chat. I'll read that message. So somebody said for grade 10, some students become introvert. So yeah, there are strategies also how we can interact with them and how we can talk to them. I see that you are making little progress. Okay. I would like to know what exactly do you want? What do you want? So that you feel safe to share things with the other members, your peers, and maybe interact with me and learn and understand something. So, how to deal with students who enjoy teasing others? There are strategies for that also. Maybe we can have one-on-one interaction, because normally what happens, in some students they have this psychological feeling. Okay, when you tell them in public, okay, they might, I mean, they tend to do it again. Especially this type of psychological thing, it's among the boys. Okay, so when you tell them not to do something, don't tease, they might go back and tease again. They start doing it again and again. They feel that kind of pleasure and something like that, and they do it, they repeatedly do it. Okay. So calling them one on one and talking to them, okay, I have been noticing that this is like continuously been happening. So please understand, okay, when we tease others, okay, they feel bad, they feel disrespected, and it hurts their feelings and emotions. What would you do if somebody teases you and calls you names? How would you feel? Definitely, they would reply, I would definitely feel bad. So you have to understand, when you're doing something to others also, they are also feeling bad. Okay, so be mindful of this and know when and how to talk to others and not tease others. There are situations where all students want to answer the questions, but because of time constraint, I cannot give chance to everyone. How can I handle that situation? So that's a classroom question, like technique. Okay, the way you like ask. Okay, you can say, okay, this is the question, I need 3 responses, I need 2 responses, and you pick 1 or 2 students. Okay, so but make sure you go with 3 4 questions, not just only one question, so that some students, 5 6 students might raise the answer, or you call them. Okay, that's one way. The second thing is, you can definitely directly ask the question to the students. Okay, Amjad, okay, can you just tell me and guess it? Wait for, give them some time, because they have to process the question, think about it. Okay, if they're not responding, then you ask the another student. Okay, and if they're responding, okay, now you got Amjad, you understood, this is what it is. So this way, slowly and gradually, see, classroom management, classroom things, this kind of strategies and all will not help you if you just try them only for once. You have a disruptive classroom, problem, and you want to implement once, I mean, a strategy in the class. You tried, it didn't help, you gave up. It's not, that's not the way, right? The second day you went, again, it did not help. You give again, we are not, I mean, over a period of time, consistently, the consistency that you have here is you're trying. So when you try again and again and again, there would be a time where they think, they reply, they understand, and they acknowledge the effort you're putting in to bring that kind of a learning environment in the class. But when we try once, twice, thrice, and we are not seeing that result, and we are giving up, fifth day or maybe the 10th day, we are not implementing it. The problem is, the day you give up, that's when everything goes back to the previous situation, because we are not consistent to shape their behavior, their thinking, and all that. So it requires some practice. And I'm saying, if you have 5 problems in the class, please remember this. if you have 5 problems in the class, do not try to solve all the 5 problems in the class. Okay. Focus on one. See the progress. Focus only on one. Then you focus on the second one. When you see that gradually things are going down, if third, fourth, fifth, these are big problems, you focus on them. If they are like small, silly problems, you can avoid, because when the first problem and the second problem have already been solved, so with little effort, all the other problems will also subside. The challenge, what happens is when we identify 5 problems, we want to solve all 5 of them at a time. That is when we fail. Okay, students do not respond, they do not listen to us, and then everything goes back like to normal. Now, after this particular thing, I am sharing this Padlet. The people who said they have joined for the first time and the second time. So first of all, I will give you, please join our WhatsApp community. I'm giving this link in the chat. In our WhatsApp community, we are actually sharing resources and also like the blogs and everything you can read. Everything is completely for free. We are not charging any money from the participants, from the members who are joining from different places. So please click on this link and join our WhatsApp community where we have few members. And last session also we asked and we requested a lot, and few members have already joined. So apart from that, I have another thing to share. Like for example, you can go to this particular page where I'm giving you the link also here. Please give us a follow. This is our page on LinkedIn. So if you go to LinkedIn, please follow us over there. And when I'll show you what you will definitely see there. This is our LinkedIn page, and you see the blogs here. Are you surfing safely? The crucial role of social emotional learning in the school. So if you see, there are many articles, many posts on social emotional learning or digital citizenship, on financial literacy, or on teacher education. So based on these, you would, when you open them and you read them, you have so many strategies mentioned there. So you can read them completely for free. And this is the benefit of becoming our member of our community and following us on LinkedIn and all the other platforms. So let's say if I show you Instagram. So this is our page. Please follow us also on Instagram too. We want the members to like do few things for us. And similarly, we have another thing for website. So maybe I've given the wrong website here. Okay, Twitter. I'm giving you all the links. This is our website where you can see the details of the events and everything. So please follow us on all these social media handles, and especially the WhatsApp community. Okay. So when you join us, I'll show you what you're going to benefit. So you are going to receive this type of flashcards, free to download and print emotional, social emotional learning worksheets. I'll open one and show you so that you will have an idea what I'm talking about. So this is the emotional check-in sheet, which you can edit, download, or make similar one for your class, and you can implement in your with your learners. So similarly, we have the other things also, like classroom chart. This type of classroom chart, you can have in the class where every day in the morning you ask the learners how are they feeling and all that. So last webinar, we have not shared yet any these resources in the group, but now that we are seeing that members are joining and our community is growing, so we will definitely start sharing these type of resources, which you can easily print as per your class or the number of students, and then go on teaching. Lastly, before I end up this webinar, I have another link for Padlet. So if you remember last time also I asked the session which we conducted in the previous Saturday. Yes. So please use this Padlet, the link which I shared just now. The members who are joining for the second time, if you remember the previous webinar, Okay, the topic which we conducted. Okay, so after attending the webinar in this whole week from Monday till today, if you implemented or tried to use some strategies or anything, so please go here. The people who are joining for the second time or the third time, this is for them. So go to this particular, click on that link, and so that you'll come here and you have all the other questions here. So let's say, for example, write the topic of the webinar you participated in. So you can use the comment section here and you can type and click send. Your response will be recorded. Mention any three learnings you had during the webinar. What are those three learnings? Okay, from the webinar, you can just go on and type. Did you try to implement the strategies given by the expert? If yes, please mention what strategy you implemented and how it helped you in the class. So the reason we're asking you to do this, so that we read them and understand what strategies we can improve further in when we are giving these strategies to our members in the community and the people who are joining our webinars. Okay, that's it. Lastly, thank you everybody for joining this on Saturday. I really appreciate you for attending this webinar and being here right from the beginning till the end. I'm sure some of the strategies might definitely have inspired you and your thinking, and you want to go back and implement. So if you want to give feedback also, you can turn on your microphone and talk to me. Or maybe if you want to just turn on your like video camera and microphone both, you can do that also as well. We can spend another 5 minutes to communicate and receive your feedback. Or if you have any other question, I'm open to answering those questions also. The certificate of participation will also be sent to your email addresses, the email address which you have used to register for the event. So please give us some time till Monday or Tuesday. You will have your certificates. Apart from that, the people who have attended this webinar also, this particular recording of the session today we had, so it will also be shared to you on your email address and also in the WhatsApp community. So you can just go watch it again, focus on those things which you might have missed during the webinar, and you can revisit them, relearn them. Thank you, sir. Different session for different details. Please use the Padlet, the link which I shared. Please use the Padlet and follow us on all our social media platforms. Padlet, which this one. Yeah, I'm seeing that people have already started responding. Thank you so much. I need people who have. Okay, I haven't received my certificate. Okay, I have noted down your name, ma'am. So what I would do is I would request the team to look into this. So this Monday you would receive both the previous one and also this one. And please let us know if you have used some strategies in your classroom, whatever strategies we mentioned in the previous session. So if those strategies have helped you in one way or the other, we would want to know how those strategies have helped you, and so that we can plan better learnings for the coming webinars.